Second hardest thing I ever worked on was when he said, I want to debate you on baptism. And I said, and I thought about it for a second, and I thought, this isn't going to be easy. I hadn't grown up in that world. So I said, okay, I only asked one thing. I said, look, I want to go first because I don't want to try to use the Bible to answer an unbiblical argument. Sorry about that. I said...
Steve, will you tell your wife to turn that camera off, that she's hitting me with that red dot every second? That's your wife, isn't it? Sitting right there in the front row, waving at me?
Yes, I see her. You want me to tell her to turn off the red dot? Is that what you're saying? What red dot?
On her phone or her camera, or whatever it is, she's aiming at me.
We all have our issues.
Wait a minute. Let's compromise and take his picture.
Okay. There's not a flash going, is there? No, okay.
That red thing that goes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll speak to her. It's the woman thou hast given me.
Which, outside of your conversion, was the greatest blessing God ever gave to you,
I know.
buddy.
I married up. There's no doubt.
You did. Way up.
Yeah. We're almost unequally yoked. She's so up there.
I'm not sure it's just almost, it may be all together.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm going to need to go arrange different transportation for Steve.
Yeah, we had issues. There's a lot of favorite stories, but one of them was we had communion like this, and so many people came, they knew they didn't have enough bread to give in the communion, so they were planning a spaghetti supper after the service, so they just grabbed all the garlic bread and gave it to the last 4 rows. So I mean, we had another... I thought, well, let's try something different so we don't run out of bread. So let's get big chunks of bread, and you can just break up a piece and pass. And so I told the guys that they're going to serve the bread, hold the tray and let them take a chunk, take one of these little loaves and pass the loaf down, but hold the tray. Yeah. Well, they're creatures of habit, so they pass the tray. So at the end of 2 rows, all the bread is gone, and people are looking at an entire loaf, waiting for me to say, "This do in remembrance of me," and then wash it down with 1 ounce of grape juice.
There's just no discipline in that. There's no love for the word. There's an abdication of the pastor's responsibility. And, again, a man's either going to see that pulpit that used to be up here and is now down there. There you go. I want one of those, but in Acts chapter 18, when you come across Apollos, it is mentioned that he was instructed in the way of the Lord, and being fervent in spirit, he was speaking and teaching accurately the things concerning Jesus, being acquainted only with the baptism of John. And then later we are told that Priscilla and Aquila heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the way of God more accurately. And that's a great model right out of the book of Acts for correcting an inadequate teaching. Apollos obviously did not mean to misconstrue the issue of baptism. We need to expose false teachers who willfully and intentionally are attacking the very foundation of the gospel itself.
Yeah, Apollos did what the best of his knowledge until Priscilla and Aquila told him to baptize babies.
I was just reading this book of Acts.
So how would you explain to a layperson who is on the fence and confused about whether these are issues that we need to be standing firm for?
Well, in one sense, we don't need to be involved with reconciliation because the one necessary prerequisite for reconciliation is estrangement. And we don't have any of that. Now, how do we reconcile the different views that we have, like on baptism? Well, so far we haven't been able to do that. The only way that can happen is if one or all of us change our position on the thing. And so I'm willing to wait.
Yeah, we had some issues. I remember when we made the flip and went into the gym, which happened very soon afterwards because we needed to build, and we built the gym, we met there. Paul DeCourt, who was one of my dear friends, who's with the Lord, been with the Lord a long time. He was just coming to his church, Paul and Julie DeCourt and their family, and they really loved the church, and he became very dear friends to Patricia and myself. And he came up to me one Sunday and he said, this is an exciting place, but who's the drunk usher? I said, what? He said, there's a guy over there. He's absolutely bombed every Sunday. He's your best greeter. He's one happy guy. So he was right. So we had to sort of make a rule that you need to be sober to be an usher.
Yeah. And that's still a rule today.
That is still a rule today.
And I just said that the popular culture has domesticated the angels. It's the whole process of domesticating deity and transcendence. And I said, we become the kind of people who put cute little pictures of angels up in the bathroom wall. They sell them in the mall. Whereas in the Bible, when an angel showed up, you didn't say, oh, how cute, you wet your pants. And R.C. just came up to me afterwards and just said, that's the best line on angels I've ever heard. And you just realize that wasn't even the main point of the message, but it was the best line on angels I've ever heard. I appreciate it.
During the Q&A yesterday, one of you said that man through prayer cannot change the mind of God. Please address how Abraham changed the mind of God, quote unquote, regarding the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
I'm the one that said that, so.
Why don't you take that one, R.C.?
Well, Abraham was able to
and that's actually my desire.
Abraham was able to change the mind of God because God, in his plan to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, had overlooked that there were some righteous folks there that he had failed to notice until Abraham called it to his attention.
R.C. said, I know there are errors in my theology. I'm not under any illusions. I know that. And I said that one time, and somebody said, well, why don't you change them? And my response was, I just don't know where they are. I know they're there, but I don't know where they are. If you show me where they are, I'll change them. I mean, that's not a problem, but...
Stop the music. I think I've told you this in front of yourself, but I've said it behind your back probably 100 times.
You can misunderstand baptism or something like that, and
Those we call errors, not heresies. I mean, there's a difference between error and heresy. Heresy is something that strikes at the very heart of the gospel and of the truth, yeah.
Should I just end this before it gets nasty?
This is not fair. I'm outnumbered here. It's hard to be a true teacher.